There is such a dark side to it that people don't see, and it's because they don't know that this is how it works. The more shocking, usually the more negative, the louder, the more obnoxious, the more people click. And I feel like I could get in a lot of trouble for this, but you know what? Forget it. I just want to talk about this for once. It has been a hot minute since I trauma dumped on you. We do a trauma dump video every quarter on this channel, and it's definitely been 3 to 4 months since we did one. So today I figured we could have a little update session. There's been so many things going on in my brain lately. I've had so many thoughts lately that I'm having a really hard time digesting and navigating. I feel like I'm almost going through a bit of an existential crisis. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Let's get into it right now. All right, let's just get this out of the way. I cut my hair back to its original blunt bob. This is just the haircut that makes me feel good about myself. You know, we all have that haircut. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the type of person that's great at multitasking. I'm not really good at talking and doing something at the same time. I kind of lose my train of thought, but I'm gonna do my best. The first topic I wanna talk about today is actually how influencers or content creators make money and why it can take you down a dark road. Content creation is a multi-revenue stream of income. Okay, and the way that you make money is, there are several ways, but the first way is through brand partnerships. So a company will notice that your target audience is the audience they want, or it's also their target customer. So they reach out to you and they pay you to talk about their products. It can be a win-win because if you like the product, you're introducing them to your audience. You can also get discount codes for your audience. So the audience loves it. It's fun for you to be excited and share with your audience something that you discovered. And then of course it's great for the brand because the brand gets discovered by their target customer that they want. Now, another revenue stream is affiliate marketing. What that means is every time you buy a product that an influencer links, that influencer makes a percentage off of that sale. That percentage can be like 5%, all the way ranging up to, in some cases I've seen with some brands, like 30 or even 35%. So if you're wondering how that works, there are actually several affiliate websites that you can apply to be a part of when you become a sizable influencer. From that website, all of the major retailers are on there. So Sephora, Ulta, Charlotte Tilbury, Huda Beauty, all of them. And then you look for the product that you're recommending in the video. You create a link from that portal and you know the percentage you're making off of the sale of that product based on the link you create in the portal. I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing. The next revenue stream is AdSense revenue. There are ads that are played before our videos, right? And we get a portion of the revenue from those ads. So basically what that means is that the more views you are able to acquire for YouTube, the more that YouTube pays you. The reason this matters is because I think a lot of people don't understand that YouTube is a business. So what YouTube wants is it wants people like us who are creators to get people onto YouTube, and it wants us to keep people on the platform because the longer we can keep people on the platform, the more ads they can feed those people. The more they give those people ads, the more ad revenue they get because advertisers want to be in front of audiences. And then the more money YouTube makes. The more money YouTube makes, the more they reward you and the more money you as a creator makes. All right, now this is going to be very relevant to why I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis. And I'm sorry that this is long-winded, but you need to know the backstory in order to understand why being a creator can be actually incredibly challenging and incredibly toxic. In a nutshell, without complicating anything, this is how it works. The more clicks you get, the more views you get. The more views you get, the more money you make. The more clicks, the more views, the more money. It's very simple. Now, how do you get clicks? The way that you get clicks is through your title and your thumbnail. And then of course the content matching the title and the thumbnail. So what that means is that your title and your thumbnail need to be attention grabbing. Because if they're not attention grabbing, no one will click. If no one clicks, no one's gonna watch. If no one watches, you're not gonna make any money. And YouTube is an enormously competitive platform, but not only is it competitive, It's also labor intensive. So it takes an enormous amount of time to create these long form videos. You have to conceptualize them. You have to often research or script. You have to get your products ready, film. Then you've got to edit the whole thing. Then you have to come up with a thumbnail, a title. You have to write the description. You have to optimize it for search, so that if someone is searching for something, your video pops up, because YouTube is owned by Google. You have to link products, you need to do chapters, all of it. It's a lot of work. And I'm not complaining about the work. I absolutely love being a creator. I count my lucky stars every day that this is the life that I get to have and the life that I get to live. But there is such a dark side to it that people don't see. And it's because they don't know that this is how it works, right? You really think, I think before you're a YouTuber, that you go on and you make these fun videos and it's so like great and you have this freedom in your life and you make all this money, but it's just not like that, because you need people to click. Okay. So what does that do? It leads you down this path of sensationalized content. The more shocking, usually the more negative, the louder, the more obnoxious, the more people click. You need to sensationalize it. And year by year, as things have become more sensationalized, people are becoming habituated to the sensationalization. So you need to go further. So for example, before, seeing someone on a bikini, I don't know, on the internet was like shocking, and people would watch it and share because they'd be like, did you see this? This is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Then when everyone did it, it's not shocking anymore. So you're used to it. So then it's like you're one-upping it and you're making it crazier and bigger and louder and more money and more insane. And the concepts get crazier and it just becomes more and more and more and more. And if you don't keep up with the Joneses and you don't do that, your content compared to others people's content seems really boring. So you don't get the clicks, you don't get the views, and you don't make money. And if you don't make money, you can't be a creator, because this is our job, because it is so labor intensive. Like I said, it's more than a full-time job. I probably work on my channel 50 hours easily a week, if not more. So if I stop earning income from it, then really I can't work on the channel and I'd have to get another job, right? Because I couldn't do it as a side thing. It's just way too much work to do as a side thing if you actually want to be one of like the leading influencers in your space on YouTube. Hope that makes sense. So now that I've been doing this for a while, it's like the curtains have lifted for me. Whenever I see a news article, whenever I see a reel from a brand, whenever I see a new launch of something and it's so shocking, like they're doing something that's shocking, I get why, because that's almost the only thing in this era of overconsumption of content that will make people stop. And everyone is like desperate for the attention. They're desperate for the scroll to stop or for someone to click the thumbnail. And the reason that they're so desperate for that is because that's what makes them money. And without the money, they can't continue doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's such a slippery slope. So what does that do? It makes people create content that's really sensationalized, that's really negative, that's really gossipy, and that creator will get a lot of money. So those creators that are leaning into gossip content, they are leaning into the negativity on the platform to gain the click. But the creators they're often talking about have also usually leaned into the negativity in order to gain the click. So they are doing really shady stuff because they're trying to get attention, because they're trying to stop someone from scrolling. And they know that if they stop that scroll, they will make more money. So at one point, you know what it's like? It's like putting a lobster in a pot of boiling water. You put it in, the water is cold. You know, you're a new content creator. You're making videos, you're having so much fun, you're making tutorials, it's amazing. And then you start noticing, hey, if I make tutorials that have this angle, or if I do things that are a little more polarizing, or if I'm a little more intense, then more people click. Look at this video went viral. Validation, validation, dopamine in your brain, right? So then the next time you make a video, you're like, well, maybe I can angle it like this because then it seems more extreme. And if it's more extreme, then I'll get more views because that's what happened with the last time I did it. So dopamine, you do it, you see it, it's like validating. And then you're like, no, I'm gonna make a really nice, good, feel-good video that teaches women how to feel like their best selves. I'm gonna do like a feel-good tutorial and it's gonna be so helpful, and you launch it and crickets. So what does that train your brain? I need to be extreme. So you become more and more extreme. So the water in that pan starts getting hotter, but you don't feel it because it's slow. Next thing you know, you're in a pot of freaking boiling water. You are dying. You've sold your soul. You are just a horrible person. And it doesn't feel bad because it happens slowly. And every time you crept up and were horrible or controversial, you got a reward. And the reward was money, fame, engagement, all of the things. So I can see why some influencers, especially the young ones, like the very young ones, why they got into this rabbit hole of creating content that's really, in my opinion, actually quite distasteful. You know, it's very controversial, very clickbaity, very extreme, very all of the things. They did that because they were rewarded every time they did that. So they became trained over the years that the only way to stay relevant on the platform is to become more and more and more sensationalized, more and more and more radical. So then we have all these gossip channels making videos about how these people suck. But what they're doing is the exact same thing that those people are doing. They're making these radicalized videos that are very polarizing and extreme, angling everything in negativity, but kind of presenting themselves as holier than thou in order to get views and clicks. Do you know what I'm saying? So everyone on this platform is doing the exact same thing, but some people are better at hiding what they're doing more than other people. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to get the click and you're doing whatever it takes to get the click. So I hope that makes sense. Oh my gosh, I am spilling all of the tea and I feel like I could potentially regret this later, but that's okay because I just want to be open about it. I just want to talk about it because I'm struggling with this, okay? I'm like really struggling with this. So what starts to happen in this storm when you are in it long enough is you start getting what I like to call ethical burnout. And that's where I'm at right now. I was riding so hard for so long. I was making it happen and I was loving every minute of it. You know, truly, I really enjoy this platform so much. And then I just hit this wall where I started seeing it for what it was. And I started thinking like, is this what I am putting all of my time, effort, love, care into? I'm a part of this ecosystem that is, it's a little rough around the edges, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? It's a little aggressive, very aggressive, and it can feel really wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going to leave YouTube. I am not. I am going to continue because I love educating you guys. I love makeup more than anything. Basically, it's like setting limits on what you're willing to do and what you are not willing to do. How far are you willing to take it to get to 1 million subscribers? How far are you willing to go to make the money or to become a really reputable voice in the beauty community? How far are you willing to go? And I'm just not willing to go that far. I'm just not willing to go that far. Emotionally, it's actually quite a difficult thing because it plays with your brain a lot. Because when your channel's doing well one month, it is the most rewarding, exciting thing ever. That dopamine hit, I'm telling you, it's so intense when you're in the world of content creation. But then when your channel slows down, it is so depressing. So then you like want that dopamine hit again, right? So you're like, what else can I do to make it more, to get back to where I was and grow as fast as I was growing? Like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And then that's when you get like sucked into that slippery slope of like extreme videos. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And I'm older, I'm 39 and I see it happening. I also have a psychology degree, so I think I can understand human psyche pretty well. And I can actually see it happening from the lens of like psychology and why it's happening and why the brain is doing what it's doing. It's just like an addiction, like anything else. Social media, it's an addiction. It really is. It's an addiction like, a cocaine addiction. Your brain wants that hit again. And it happens a lot in the creator space because when you're doing well, it feels so good. But when you're not doing well, it's so depressing. Like you spiral, you start to think, Am I tapping out? Are people not liking me anymore? Is this the end of it? Have I had my rise and fall? What's my plan B? What am I going to do if this doesn't work? And then you start to think, maybe if I make a video that's like this, it will be so extreme that it will get the click. And like, how can I sensationalize the title more? And like, what would be more extreme? What do people, you just get in your own head, and it just becomes like more and more and more and more evil. I hate to say that, but it can become very, very nasty, very, very fast without you realizing it, because you're just a lobster in a pot of boiling water. Honestly, trying to get this click at times can be so exhausting because you constantly feel like you're not dramatic enough for the algorithm. And I wonder how long I'm going to be able to last on here before the more dramatic creators just kind of take over and I become irrelevant, you know? And that's something that's on my mind actually quite a bit. And something that I know it sounds so negative, but it like hurts my heart because I love this so much and I love makeup and showing you guys all these new things, but it just feels like inevitably I'm going to be phased out because I won't ever be the person that can become extreme. Like I could never be the boiling lobster because I don't like hot water. I just don't like it. I feel so uncomfortable when things are negatively angled. I'll be honest about a product, but I don't like extreme negativity for the sake of getting views. And I don't like being performative for the sake of getting views. So kind of acting in a way that's not authentic to myself. Sometimes I just don't feel like I really belong here. So that brings me to influencer events. The people that put on the events, whether that's a brand or another platform, they want you to go and take a million videos and pictures and post them because it promotes the brand. Everything that is done in that world is to promote the brand. Whether you believe it or not, whether the influencer thinks, oh, this is so nice that they did this. They're giving us this lavish party with this lavish food and all this stuff and red carpet and blah, blah, blah. They just want you to promote the brand. They don't give an, excuse my language, F about you. They do not care about you whatsoever. They want you to promote the brand. Because if you promote the brand, then the brand makes money and everything is about making money at the end of the day. And I feel like, you know, in some ways I have an advantage because I'm older, I can see it. But I'm at these events and everyone's so young, you know, so much younger than me. They don't see it. They're just so like flattered and honored and they feel like so great. But I'm like, they don't care about you. If you stop getting views and you stop selling their product, you are replaced. They do not care about you at all. They don't. They just care about how having you at this event or taking you on this brand trip or giving you all this lavish stuff, how it's going to translate to their pockets at the end of the freaking day. That is how it works. Oh my gosh, you guys have never seen this side of me, huh? I'm so flustered. I don't even know like how to do my makeup right now. Anyways, with that said, so I go to these events and I feel like such a fish out of water. For one, the only way to get candid reactions that people seem to love on Instagram is to film everything. Okay, that means you have to bring your tripod, bring your camera, set it up, get some lighting in there so everything's not dark, or hire a video person to come and follow you around and film all your interactions. And then you take all that footage, download it on your computer and spend hours going through every moment of the day and picking out the interactions that make sense in the story that you're creating for this video and then post it, right? It seems so authentic when you're watching it. And even I love watching Instagram Reels. I love it. When you are the one actually creating the videos, it is anything but authentic. Because as soon as you're filming something, you're taking yourself out of that moment completely to film it. It becomes performative. Everything in this industry is performative. So for example, I went to this women's event that was influencer led, and there's this red carpet and everyone's lining up to take videos of themselves walking on the red carpet and posing and pictures and pictures. And so people are like, here, line up here for the red carpet. And I'm like, but do you have to line up for the red carpet? They're like, no, it's for videos. I'm like, I don't want to line up for 20 minutes to have my assistant take videos of me like that. To me, it's so, I'm not judging anyone for doing it. It's a part of the business. I get it. But as someone who's just a makeup artist, I'm not like a actress or a model. It feels so weird to me. I feel so uncomfortable being like, hey, here, take my camera. Can you take a picture of me walking on this red carpet so I can make a reel of me walking in slow motion with my dress flapping and my hair blowing? It's just very, to me, it feels very egocentric and performative and unbelievably cringy. And I hate it so much. And I have such a hard time with it. And it's so many other things where I just feel like I can't film everything because it takes me out of the moment and it makes me so bloody uncomfortable. So even for example, I go to Savannah, Georgia for RMS Beauty, right? So Rosemary Swift is a makeup icon. If you don't know who she is, she has done the makeup for every Vogue cover. She has done the makeup for every major designer, for every major supermodel. She is an icon in the fashion industry. And in my opinion, she's one of the best makeup artists of our time. When RMS Beauty sent me over for that trip, I was so deeply honored to meet her and to learn from her and film the video for you guys. I knew it would be so beneficial for you guys to get that sneak peek through her lens and her immense experience as a working artist. Oh my gosh, it was like a dream, honestly, a dream come true for me. And so as a creator going down there, the first thing you think is like, we should really film the first moment that I meet her. Like we should film me going up to her house, knocking on the door, having her come out in that first experience because that would be fun to watch. But guys, this is what I mean when I say like, I don't belong in this world and I don't know how I got here. It kills my soul to do things like that because I feel like it's so inauthentic. Like imagine meeting someone who you deeply respect as an artist. Say you're an artist, right? Like me. And filming the first moment interaction like that, cameras in their face, they're put on the spot. They are going to act in a performative way simply because of the fact that there's a camera in their face. They can't just be themselves or real or respond to you in the way that they naturally would because there's a camera in their face. That's what I don't get with reality TV. When I watch reality TV, I always think about that because the characters are always, getting drunk and being so dramatic. And I always wonder about that because being in this industry, there's like cameras and lights and stuff in your face. It's not what you see is it's reality, but it's not. It's not. Imagine someone following you around like this with the camera. I should grab my camera and do it and show you. But imagine like you are acting different than you normally would act because there's a bloody camera in your face, okay? So of course I didn't film it. I don't want to film everything because I just want to live it in real life and have it be like an actual real experience that I remember, like back in the olden days where not everything was recorded. I just want it to be authentic and genuine and real. And so much of this job, in order to get big on social media, you have to be very exposed. That's the only way I can say it. You have to be exposed and you have to have people invest in you and invest in your life. And you need people to want to be invested. And the only way they're going to get invested is if you share so much with them that they are basically your diary. They see your life in such a deep and intimate way. They see all of your experiences and then they get attached to you. If you're just doing educational videos that are informative like I do, they're not going to get invested in you because there's nothing to get invested in. They might be invested in the information and find it interesting, but it's not going to be, the channel will never grow to the size of, let's say Tati's channel, for example, where you become invested in her life and her stories and her family and her husband and it becomes like this whole thing. And for me, I just really struggle with making my channel that whole thing because it doesn't come naturally to me because I really don't feel like I belong in this world. Another thing is because I have young kids, anytime I go anywhere, I go with my kids, okay? We're a really close family. So every time I'm in a cool place, I am 100% with my kids. And the last thing I want to teach my kids is that like, hold on a second, I have to film because this is a cool location. I need to set up my dinner like this before we eat. I have to record this. I have to post this. All of those things take time away from being in the present moment. And I'm really terrified to teach my children that living is filming. I don't want them to think that social media is that important. And I know that I make my living on it. I do. And I'm not hating on it. I love my career. I do. I really love this. But that side of it scares me, you guys. I want them to know that smelling fresh air, looking at flowers, dipping their toes in the ocean, all those things can be experiences that they have that don't need to be recorded. And that is something that I have such a difficult time with. I'm just really mindful that I don't mess up my kids and make them think like they need a cell phone and they can't exist without a cell phone, and that everything needs to be documented. It just like, it's so, do you see what I'm saying? I feel like I'm having an existential crisis with this stuff. I really do. So with that said, I think because I don't do a lot of the things the other creators do, I'm not constantly filming, I'm not constantly making shorts and reels or really sensationalized content or negatively driven content or all that. My growth has slowed quite a bit this month. And I think it is because I am not sensationalized enough or posting enough. That's another thing. To be really relevant, you have to be really active. And to be really active, you need to be really consumed. And to be really consumed means taking time away from your family. And I just can't. I can't. I'm so afraid that I'll look back in my life and my kids will be like little iPhone robots that never get off their phone or never do anything without filming it. And I don't want to be like, guys, you shouldn't, you should just experience this. You don't have to film everything or always be on your phone, when they're teenagers. And they'll be like, what do you mean? That's what you've been doing our whole life. Do you see what I'm saying? It is something I struggle with like a lot. It's something that's on my mind all the time. But anywho, now that you know this whole thing, I want to tell you something else that's on my mind that's absolutely terrifying the hell out of me. So for the last long while, I've been working on launching a brand. And the whole reason I started this channel in the first place was because I love being a makeup artist so much. I love connecting with women, and I especially love helping women feel so beautiful. It is my favorite thing in the whole entire freaking world. I finally decided to start my own brand with all of the knowledge that I have acquired over all of these years as a makeup artist. And it's launching soon-ish, within the next few months. And guys, I am so freaking scared. Oh, I don't know if this is even a good idea for me to tell you again, because I don't want it to feel like I'm not confident in the product. I am. We're starting only with one product in the makeup range. I don't want to give it away just yet, but it's one of my favorite products of all time. I've been perfecting the heck out of this formula, making it exactly what I want it to be so that you guys absolutely freaking love it. And then we'll move on to other products from there. But it is so scary. Like, scary doesn't even begin to describe what it's like launching a brand in this ecosystem where negativity and sensationalism sells and gains clicks, and clicks makes the creator money. Because I am just waiting for people to rip it to shreds, because that's the game. That's literally the game. That's how the game works. So it's scary because I'm putting all of my money into this. You wouldn't believe how expensive it is to launch a makeup line. You literally wouldn't believe it if I told you. Even like one product, I'm just launching one product in a few colors. It is an insane amount of money. All my friends who have done it have told me they have felt the same. Like Marlena did it, Marlena Stell, Lisa J Makeup from BK Beauty did it, Allie Glines did it. I've had meetings with all of them. Even Tom, who owns Refer, he's a really good friend of mine. He's been helping me a lot. And they tell me, that initial launch is super, 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 super scary, but it's so rewarding to hear all the positivity. But in the world of social media, with positivity also comes negativity. It's natural and normal, and it's gonna happen. But I'm so scared. I don't know if you guys have ever gone down the beauty guru rabbit hole on Reddit. Probably shouldn't even have said that, because now you're all gonna go check it out. But there is like the nicest people in the whole world that I have met in the industry who are actually really wholesome people and aren't just trying to get the click or whatever. Or they're trying to get the click, but not in a way that's going to tear people down. You know what I'm saying? Even they have horrible things written about them on Reddit. Reddit is like a cesspool of extreme negativity. Like, if you want to go somewhere toxic on the internet, go on Reddit. So I'm just telling you that because I'm so scared. I feel like launching this brand is going to be hugely successful and exciting and amazing, or it's going to be like extreme public failure. And I just don't know what it's gonna be yet. I just don't have a big enough ego to do this without feeling like absolutely terrified. And sometimes I wish that I did. I wish that I was just like one of those younger creators that have like 3 people following them around with a camera all day and don't question the ethics of that and just live in this like bubble of whatever this bubble is without any glimpse into actual like reality, because then maybe I would feel less like absolutely terrified about it. Wow, I feel like I babbled on and on and on and on. I hope that wasn't too much for you guys. I've been thinking a lot about just where I fit in this world and how I want to leave an impact and how I don't want to get sucked into the game of the click and becoming just a really toxic, nasty creator, because that's what's going to make me money. You just have to really be mindful to not let yourself get sucked into that world. It's just such an easy game to get sucked into because that water boils so slowly, you know? That water boils so slowly. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you sat through that whole thing, then you are an angel. And if you're going through something, or if you have feelings, or you're just questioning anything in your life and you want to talk about it, you want to share it, then feel free to do that in the comments. I would love to read what you guys are going through, and you can help each other to navigate some of the more complex parts of your life, or the more complex feelings and thoughts that you may have. I really hope that you feel beautiful today. This video's over.